Hello?
Well, greetings and a most heartfelt salutations to everybody out there in Eternia land, because that is a special iStream Ustream coming to you. What? It's not Thursday night. What's going on? It is Friday in the mid-afternoon. We are here coming to you live, talking about the brand new animated Netflix series, Masters of the Universe, not the Power of He-Man. What is up with that? What do you got there?
We're not reviewing the game?
Not on the Atari. What's going on here?
Oh, no.
I know.
I don't think I'm prepared, Lord Cash. What are we doing today?
I realize I got the throwback, shirt here from the original 80s Masters of the Universe. This is going to be awkward then. No, we're going to be talking about the new animated series on Netflix.
Well, thankfully I watched some of that, but oh man. I guess we'll talk about that.
There you go. Well, I am Lord Cash. I'm being joined by All That Pat. And like I said, we are going to be talking about the very first episode of Masters of the Universe, Revelation, just dropped today on Netflix. Now, if you've kind of been watching some of the stuff that I've been talking about it, I had a misunderstanding. I thought part 1 was going to consist of 10 episodes. Apparently, the entire series is of 10 episodes, and today dropped part 1, which consisted of only 5 episodes. So, yeah, it happens. But this was done by Kevin Smith. He pretty much wrote, I think, all the storyline for it. I know he's like one of the executive producers for it. He definitely has his hands in this a lot. The creator is being given credited to Kevin Smith. So it's good. This is awesome. I absolutely was super duper stoked about this episode, this series, before it came out. On a scale of 1 to 10, how susceptible to this series were you before watching anything?
Well, I watched I watched the show when I was a kid, right? And I collected the toys. I really didn't realize, and I don't think there was, to be totally honest with you, but like I think over the years there's actually been able to truly develop the lore, really develop the story. Because back in the day, there's comic books that were they each figure and such, but I don't know. Like as we'll talk about in episode 1 before we do the spoiler of it, right? Bottom line is, I feel they really moved away from the original to make this more of a new thing, right? Episode 1 really talked about that. So, guys, full
spoilers ahead.
There you go.
Yeah, so we are going to be diving in to all the stuff in the episode, as if you've seen this episode and you are, on your own couch just talking and chilling with us. We're going to be talking about things we liked about this episode. So you watched it. Now, this is technically the 3rd incarnation of the Masters of the Universe He-Man series. There was the one originally from the 80s.
Yep.
Which very campy, very cheesy. Exactly, a lot of restock footage used. How many times did we see He-Man do this little number?
Yeah, exactly.
And then the punch, the transformation, all that stuff. They pumped out so many episodes in a short amount of time, and the way they did that is they used one clip once and they just reused it and reused it and reused it. A lot of I read that the Sorceress, because a lot of her stuff was she never came out of the Castle Greyskull, so
right.
they just used a lot of her stock footage over and over again.
Yeah, so, and in this one, that was one of the things I thought about, Lord Cash, was the exact opposite, right? Where I thought the animation was stellar, very good. I actually, in some weird nostalgic way, I was disappointed the first time Prince Adam turned to He-Man, only because I'd gotten so used to the stock footage of the original that when he's like a little bit different, and I'm like, oh, what is that? But same thing with Cringeor. I'm so used to him cowering in a certain way because it's always been that way. That's not a knock. I just like it struck me in a nostalgic nerve, that it was different. Right. But I liked it. So like the bottom line in this first episode was it really seemed to wrap up the original lore. And you mentioned there's 3, different shows because they had the New Adventures of He-Man in the early 90s, and then they had the Return of the He-Man show in the early 2000s.
I'm gonna say I wasn't even talking about the New Adventures of He-Man.
Yeah, most people don't. But like, I really liked how it did. Like I said, it tied up the original, and it showed how it was like literally. Bottom line is, you see a lot of the characters kind of get knocked off, right? Including the big one, He-Man gets killed. Now, I don't know what's going to happen, same thing with Skeletor, but it basically the episode ends by this huge reveal that Prince Adam is He-Man, which I don't know how Tila didn't figure that out, but that's a joke in a sense. But like the whole beginning of this He-Man universe, Skeletor dies, He-Man dies, the big reveal that the same person. Tila breaks away from everybody because she is completely mad. But it ends up becoming a whole new series. That's what I liked, was the fact that it, like, again, closed off the original, and now we can move on to a whole story of its own.
Yeah. So when it starts and you get the, to be honest, I've watched all 5 episodes, but we're only here to talk about the first one. I will give this little spoiler. There's no real intro.
No, yeah.
That's what like really, really bummed me out, because you have the original 80s version. You've got the the Filmation little
yeah, exactly.
I'm Prince Adam.
Yeah. Defender of Eternia or whatever, yeah.
Yeah, was revealed to me the day I held aloft my sword, and I said, whatever. And it goes in there. When they did the 2002 version on, I believe it was Cartoon Network, which amazing remastering of the story, the characters. You get all of the backstories of all these characters, of how they became who they are.
Right.
And that one, like, really blew my mind as far as the He-Man lore and everything that went around with that. But it starts the same way, but then you get that little blast of Skeletor attacking and everything, and it goes into a different. But it started the same way. You got that nostalgia feeling, and I was hoping that they were to do something similar to the original, but you don't get that. You do get that very first thing that they're talking about. All of the characters look exactly like the 80s character. You see the Beastman, the Triclops, the Trapjaw. It's that old, and it's not an old animation style, but it's a gritty kind of like a retelling. But it looks, the design is the look from the 80s, whereas you've got like the big arm muscles, the big leg muscles, because it's the same cast, the same mold from like all the characters, just little tweaks here and there. But it looks exactly like that, which I thought was at least a nice little homage to the original series. But this is definitely, there is no backstory to anybody. You're going into this series a fan knowing who all these characters are. There's 1 or 2 new characters that you get along the way, but for the most part, you got to know. So I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing or a bad thing, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I think that you hit it on the head though, Lord Cash, about already needing to be a fan. I don't think Kevin Smith wrote this for 7-year-old, 8-year-old kids. Yeah, I think he wrote it for us. He wrote it for 30 and 40-year-olds. Because of that. I mean, they tied in that a little bit of that old I'm Prince Adam, Defender of Eternia or whatever, but it was so lightly done in the very, very beginning, but it wasn't done in the same exact quoting or cheesy campiness, because that's really what it is at this point. But that's why I'm excited about seeing where the story goes, for the next 9 episodes or what have you, because it did wrap up that old things that we have, and now it's new again.
And I'm almost wondering if this is because in the original series, you had the main big, huge difference was Prince Adam and He-Man. In the original series, it's a Clark Kent Superman. It is the same person, same body build, just glasses, no glasses, glasses, no glasses, type of thing.
Well, and the best.
True. In the 2002 version of Masters of the Universe, you had a scrawny, teenager that transforms into a huge muscular guy. So how does anybody not know? The only way is to be like, well, He-Man, and it's the whole, I'm not saying
Tom Hanks is big.
I'm not saying I'm Batman, but you've never seen Batman and me in the same room.
Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of that thing that you've never, like, Prince Adam is always missing and disappeared and gone off somewhere when He-Man shows up.
What were your thoughts on that? He-Man's mother, Prince Adam's mother, had known the whole time, because I don't believe that was ever a thing. Because I thought that was pretty surprising, and I think that's quite honestly one of the main things that set Teela off, was that basically, Man-at-Arms is like, I'm sorry to tell you that, Eternia's hero He-Man has died. And as soon as he said that, the mother started crying and said, "Oh, our Adam!" And even the dad was like, "What?" It just seemed like everybody was shocked at the fact that she knew, and Man-at-Arms knew. And like I said, Teela was so upset. I would be too if I just finally realized that, there's tension there. You know what I mean? If you want to put it that way. That
outside of Prince Adam, there was 3 other people that have historically known.
Yeah.
And then that is literally Man-at-Arms Duncan, Orko, and Cringer, because he's also Battle Cat.
Exactly. He has a secret too.
Those are the 3 characters that know that Prince Adam was He-Man. The fact that they made the revelation that roll credits.
I didn't even pick that up. I'm gonna be totally honest with you. Just continue.
That Queen Marlena knew that Adam was He-Man, I think is I don't want to say it's brilliant, but come on, moms know.
Yeah.
Things if you try to sneak away and get away with, moms know. Dads sometimes are clearly, oblivious to a lot of things, but moms are no. They've got that special radar that that really hones in on their kids.
Yeah.
And so the fact that she knew that her son was He-Man, and again, you get that little revelation at the very, very beginning, because he's getting ready to close the door, and she's like, "Be careful, Adam," to herself.
I didn't even pick up on that, completely honest with you.
Yeah, like that. I knew she knew then, and then it just made itself more aware when he's like, we've lost our champion, and she's like, "No, we lost our son."
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, that was what now? Okay. Going into this episode, I know you do a lot of deep dives, whether it be on our other I Stream, You Streams, whether it be WandaVision, Falcon and Winter Soldier, whatever it is. Did you know going into this that the character of He-Man, at least in episode 1, we'll talk about episode 2, I noticed something, and you've seen all of them. But bottom line is, did you know that He-Man was going to die?
No, I had no knowledge of that.
Okay, I wasn't sure if anything had been, put out into the world, so to speak, because I really like this episode. I like He-Man, but I'm not as big in He-Man as I believe you are. Even some of my fans, I'm sorry, friends. I don't have an ego, but if you're one of my fans, no. So like I said, I was hooked. I really was, and that's why I genuinely can't wait to watch the other episodes. Do we know when episodes 6 through 10 are scheduled to drop? Because like you mentioned earlier, there was kind of a confusion as to how many were coming out today.
Right. I don't believe that they have made the announcement. I was kind of trying to find like if there was anything that had dropped on this, but as of right now, they have not made any announcements so far.
Okay.
Though I'm gonna, as I'm talking about this, I'm gonna go ahead and just ask, the good old internet.
Right. The interwebs.
Let's go part 2.
And as we'll talk throughout, I mean, I do like how they didn't really change the character designs like you mentioned with He-Man and Prince Adam as much. Those did change, but I still feel like the other characters were, very faithful. Like, I mean, I would not be confused as to who is that, because sometimes in hell, we talk about comics all the time. Very clearly, Wolverine in the movies look totally different than Wolverine in the comics.
Right.
Animated characters in this were totally faithful. I honestly didn't even realize that at Man at Arms, all the soldiers in Eternia basically look like him, minus the mustache.
Right.
I don't remember if that was something in the old show or not, but like as soon as I saw that, you just see a bunch of Man at Arms, the big bowl cut, bluish helmet, which makes sense. I mean, why would you have them look totally different? But that kind of caught me by surprise.
In the 2002 version, it was definitely that way. I can't remember the original. Because I think in the original, Man at Arms was his name, his superhero name, if you will.
Right.
Because his real name is Duncan.
Yeah.
But in this series, and I can't speak for 100% on the 2002, which I almost feel that this is the continuation of the 2002 series, because a lot of the character designs look very similar. It's just maybe a few years older. Because again, I think Adam, is probably that 16, 17 years of age versus being that 13, 14 that he kind of looks in the 2002 version. So it's kind of like a continuation. So which is why you're not getting those origin stories. But in this series, the Man at Arms is more of a title of the army, because even Teela, she gets dubbed a Man at Arms. She's being inducted into this classification, this group of soldiers called Man at Arms, which I'm sure may be named after Duncan Man at Arms, like his title or type of scenario. But yeah, it was interesting to kind of see the this clone army almost looking like thing, which again, once you've got that headpiece on, as if you don't have any facial features, you're pretty much given the same design of a face. You all look the same.
I just put on I'm curious, I want to watch this as well. Yesterday he did a Q&A all about Masters of the Universe, so we should probably check that out, because I'm sure we're going to learn a lot of different things about that. I'm going to wait until I've seen all 5 of the first episodes, because I'm sure I'll have some kind of a spoiler. But something for you to watch and something to watch for all of our our people watching right now. I think you check that out. But I mean, overall, episode 1, out of 10 Battle Cats or whatever, what would you give episode 1 out of 10?
So I'm torn, because it's not what I was expecting.
Okay.
I was expecting a reboot.
Really? Okay.
I was expecting a whole new reboot, whereas I feel like I'm getting a continuation. So I'm trying to go into this, because like I said, I've already said I've watched all 5 episodes. My thoughts and opinions of the series versus the first one is definitely different, because of the whole series versus what we've seen of based on the first episode. So that being said, I give the first episode maybe a 6 or a 7. Kind of just going that. But but again, that's just on going off of the first episode alone.
Okay.
Because I have seen the whole series, that number does go up, but it's kind of the series in general. So I would say if you're kind of going and not expecting it, it does turn around. It does get better. There's a reason for everything.
Okay.
You know, Kevin Smith is not a dum-dum. I will go on the record. Kevin Smith, you're not a dum-dum. Good series.
And if you want to be on our show, come on in, and we won't call you a dum-dum either.
I will call you sweaty though, because you're other.
Yeah,
that is a 100% compliment.
Yeah, exactly. You
know John Schnepp, which I believe you do. You knew him. Sweaty's a compliment.
It is. I'm feeling a little sweaty. No, I'm just.
So how many?
I'm the exact opposite, right? I'm giving it an 8 or a 9 because it connected to the old ones. Because I love that. I was so excited to see how it connects, because sometimes these reboots that we see on other properties, it makes me almost like annoyed and nostalgic for the original. And I'm like, that's not how it goes.
Right.
When it does now. This one is totally like, that's how it goes. Now where's it going to go? I'm totally cool with that.
Right.
Like the Ninja Turtles movie, they're going to kill off everybody, but it's still much on the old ones. But anyway, I loved it. I can't wait to continue checking these out. What do you guys think, Internet in the Land? Did you like it? Did you like episode 1? Did you like all of them? Did you like this?
Exactly. Yeah, definitely leave your comments down below. What you agree with, what you don't agree with. What things are you possibly looking at coming out of the rest of this series? You know, we're only talking about episode 1. If you haven't seen the rest of those, what exactly are you looking to get from 2 through 5? And then, of course, if you've seen all 5, what are you looking to get at the part 2? Now, the cool thing is we're doing a little special something right now with iStream Ustream. Normally, that is our show that we do on Thursday nights. But again, we had a special situation, so we wanted to bring this to you live right now. We do have today Funko is Funko Royalty, where we're going to be talking about some of the cool Funko stuff. I do have Master of the Universe stuff, but I'm not going to show that stuff today. I've got a box from Pop in a Box that I want to show off, and I need to find out what's inside the box. Saturday is Mail Call Mail Time, where we get those stuff inside the mail. We'll show that off to you. Sunday is Call of the Wild, where we go out and buy stuff and show it to you on air. And then Monday, Crazy Card Collector, where we open up all those retro trading cards. Be nice to get our hands on some Master of the Universe trading cards. I'd be down to open up some of those. Tuesday, we talk Slam Nation Wrestling. That's all about the world of professional wrestling. We'll talk about that. And then, of course, Wednesday, we revert back to the game room, where we will talk about what's going on game stuff. So we'll pick a game. All that Pat, myself, will either play what's going on there, or we'll have fun with it. So definitely join us for any of those times. It is 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time for all of those series. We do ask that you subscribe to the New York Nerd Show, because again, we love you and we want you to love us in return. So definitely subscribe. You can catch us on YouTube, Twitch, as well as Facebook. So definitely like us all over the place. Spread the word of the nerd. Tell your family and friends about us. Exactly. Master of the Universe, Revelation, excellent series. Definitely catch the rest of the series on Netflix. Part 1, all 5 episodes dropped today. We hope you do like them. All that, Pat, take us home. What do you got to say?
Ironically, I did not have the power like He-Man for a moment, but we just can't wait to see you guys on our other shows. And have a great weekend. Well, not even a great weekend. You'll see us tonight. But always, guys, thank you for joining us. And Lord Cash, our personal He-Man on the New York Nerd Show Network.
That's right. And as I say, when it comes to streaming stuff, if you can stream it, go watch it. Bye-bye, everybody.
Adios.
Hello.